Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Today we've prepared for you another selection of incidents with animals that got caught on camera. An encounter of a predator and its prey on a forest road. The wolf looked at the sheep with two lambs, everyone prepared to witness a brutal attack. But this situation developed rather strangely. The predator started approaching the sheep, but it seemed very timid and clumsy. To be honest, it kind of looked like it wanted to play more than to attack. The mother and sheep obviously got defensive, so the wolf immediately turned around and started running away, while the sheep decided to pursue it. This is the first time I've seen anything like this. Having driven the wolf away, the sheep stopped, but then the wolf decided to come back. However, the slightest advance of the sheep in the predator's direction made it flee again. I gotta say, this is the most cowardly wolf I've ever seen. This footage confirms the brutal rules of survival in the wild. An adult female cheetah caught a mother gazelle, but both of them had their young around. And just look at it. The cheetah cub began to attack the gazelle calf. The cub was still little, but already showing all the traits of a real predator. The little gazelle tried to escape, and even succeeded at times. But the little predator caught up with it, and despite the fact it still didn't have much strength, the gazelle calf was even weaker. The jaguar is one of the 5 representatives of the Panthera genus, the 3rd largest in the world, and the largest representative of the Felidae family in the New World. The jaguar rarely comes across the various ungulates in its habitat, and thus, it often seeks alternative food sources by hunting near water. The jaguar's preferred prey are caimans, peccaries, and capybaras. It was the capybaras that the jaguar spotted near the pond, but they didn't notice the danger. Lightning-fast attack, and the capybara ended up in the teeth of the spotted predator. These cats have an iron grip, so unfortunately, the capybara had no chance of salvation. How would you like to see such a guest looking at you straight from the toilet? A little unexpected, isn't it? It's a good thing that no one was actually sitting on it at that moment. This incident happened in a hotel in Thailand. The monitor lizard got out, looked around, and decided to leave the same way it came in. It is clearly a very young individual, since the water monitor is one of the largest monitor lizards, and in some cases can reach 3 meters in length. The water monitor spends most of its time in the water. It is found along the banks of canals, rivers, and other freshwater bodies. Disturbing a water monitor can be dangerous to humans. The injuries inflicted by these monitor lizards have been reported to cause deaths. So to make up for that last video, this one is a rather funny video. So the mother shrew is moving her offspring to a different place. Everyone was supposed to hold each other by the tail, forming some kind of shrew train. And they all blindly followed the route set by the mother shrew. Now these small animals look like mice, but with an elongated muzzle. Shrews live throughout the planet with the exception of the polar regions, and bring significant benefits by exterminating soil insects and their larvae, pests that are harmful to agriculture and forestry. This incident occurred on a farm. 3 domestic dogs drove a coyote into a pond. They kept barking and even made attempts to bite the poor fellow. The coyote held its mouth wide open above the water, trying to intimidate the dogs, but at the same time avoiding getting caught by the 3 musketeers. The coyote is a rather small representative of the canine family. An adult coyote weighs up to 20 kilograms, so it was clearly unwilling to fight the dogs. And these shots show how one of the farmers decided to express his feelings in such an unusual way. He had huge herds of sheep, so he put their food in the shape of a heart, and then used a drone to film as they ate it. A heart made of sheep is very cute and touching, isn't it? The African fish eagle's diet usually consists of fish and small mammals, but that's not always the case. It isn't uncommon for these eagles to catch the crocodile young. The adult Nile crocodile is one of the most dangerous predators in Africa. It can feed on virtually any live creature. But until it grows to adult size, the young crocodile is also prey for predators. Apparently, this eagle spotted the young crocodile, but didn't take into account the fact that its mother was nearby. The failed hunt almost ended with the eagle getting eaten instead. Just a couple of centimeters saved the bird from the mouth of the crocodile that jumped out of the water. Have you ever seen anything like this before? I'm surprised, to be honest. It's a buffalo swimming underwater, and it's actually pretty good at it. Now, it turns out that the Asian buffalo is also known as the water buffalo. The lifestyle of this animal is closely connected with water bodies. The water buffalo grazes during the cool hours in the morning and evening, and aquatic vegetation can actually make up as much as 70% of its diet. During the hot part of the day, the buffalo hides in the water up to its head, and if it's still too hot, it can even dive underwater. And this footage shows another monitor lizard that decided to come in for a visit, only this one decided to use the door. This incident also happened in Thailand. While the whole family was lying on the floor, resting, a rather large monitor lizard brazenly entered the house and went into the room. Surprisingly, the monitor lizard didn't bite anyone, even though people were lying on the floor. The adults didn't even notice the monitor lizard, but the kids did have a reaction, and then the house went into full panic mode. No one wanted to have such an unfriendly roommate. Quick question, have you ever seen cats falling from the sky? Well, the customers of this cafe hadn't either, which is why they were shocked when a black cat almost fell on their heads. However, the reason behind it was pretty simple. This poor black fellow somehow climbed onto the suspended ceiling, but something went wrong and the suspended slab fell out, and so did the cat. The cat was scared just as much as the customers, and was clearly shocked by what had happened. Now, this video was filmed from a drone in Kamchatka. It features a rather unusual group: a Laika dog and 3 bears. This dog had probably gotten lost at some point, and the bears must have adopted it into their family. Judging by the footage, they were all good friends. This unusual group of animals was repeatedly spotted in the area. This is yet another confirmation that interspecies friendship is very possible. This crab must have realized that it couldn't take on a human with its bare claws, so it decided to defend itself with some cold weapons. The crab seemed to feel more confident with a knife in its claw, even though it still continued to retreat. I don't even know why this crab climbed into the booby's nest, but it quickly paid the price for its reckless behavior. The birds attacked it, and it looks like they caused some serious injuries. But the crab is its own doctor, or rather, its own surgeon. Having moved away from the unfriendly birds, the crab stopped to amputate its wounded limb, and then continued on its way. But that's okay, since it will grow the claw back in 2 to 3 molts. Thirst makes even the most dangerous predators quite friendly. When thirsty, these snakes gladly accept help from people, perceiving them as saviors or friends, instead of a threat. There have been multiple instances of snakes crawling into villages in India during the dry period and asking people for water. When that happens, even the king cobras behave friendly. And after drinking water and cooling down, they simply leave. Here's a funny thing that happened at the zoo. 2 lions walked proudly along the pool. One of them got distracted and fell into the water. The other lion got worried and started nervously accompanying its friend to the exit. Now, this ingenious father came up with a very unconventional way to pull out a loose milk tooth. He tied one end of the thread to the tooth and the other end to a treat for the squirrels. They sat on a park bench and waited for the squirrel to grab the treat and start running. And surprisingly, everything happened exactly as planned. When the squirrel rushed to get away with the treat, it pulled the thread, the tooth got pulled out, and the child was happy. Well, that's all for today. Like the video if you have a moment, comment, let me know what your favorite video was. Be sure to subscribe to our channel too while you're at it, and we'll see you next time.